Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. Another big week coming up for Arsenal in the Premier League. Well, not just the Premier League, obviously we've got the Brentford game coming up on the weekend. Then we've got an absolute massive Champions League game on Tuesday against Porto, where we need to right the wrongs from the last game and make sure that we're in the quarter-final. But this week did start a little bit earlier for us. So this isn't going to be just about the Brentford game. We're just going to touch upon the Sheffield United game. I haven't had a chance to do a video yet. So yeah, let's quickly talk about that. Arsenal playing Monday Night Football against Sheffield United away. After both of our title race rivals had picked up wins on the weekend. Liverpool scraping a 1-0 and City coming from behind to beat Manchester United in the Manchester derby. Which means that there was absolutely no room for any error for Arsenal. Not that there's any room even if they both lost, but definitely put the pressure back on us. And could we deal with it? The answer is yes. We dealt with it emphatically and ended up matching our best away win in Premier League history, which only come a few weeks ago against West Ham by beating Sheffield United 6-0. And boy, the football we're playing and how we're playing at the moment is just amazing. It's so good to watch. I think it's definitely making other fans take note of Arsenal and take them more seriously within the title race. Look, don't get me wrong. Sheffield United are a bad football team. I'd fancy my chances against them on a Sunday, to be honest. They're not very good. They're going to go down as one of, if not, probably the worst team I can remember seeing in my lifetime. Probably alongside that really bad Derby team who've got the worst point tally in history. But, excuse me, but yeah. Look, as bad as they are, you still got to go there. You got to be professional and you got to get the job done, like I said in my preview. I said the only thing that could stop us is by being arrogant and not taking the game properly, and there was definitely no signs of that at all. Took it very professionally and we took it to them from the word go. Just blew them away. We were 3-0 up within 15 minutes. Goals from Martin Odegaard. An own goal that Bukayo Saka done absolutely brilliantly to force in. And then Gabriel Martinelli getting the third. And it was game over in 15 minutes. It made, some of the fans start leaving. It made Chris Wilder make a sub after 15 minutes, which was brutal. Taking off Norwood, which I would have been absolutely distraught as a player. But then saying that, he's probably gone to the bench, gone, thank fuck for that. Don't fancy being on there. Fuck that. So he's probably gone home to his missus and had a nice Ruby or something. He must have been buzzing. But, yeah, then we ended up, getting another goal through Kai Havertz. And what I liked about this goal is at 3-0, the players could easily just start cruising and just keeping the ball and seeing out the game. But it was a good bit of fight from Havertz and Martinelli to make sure they pressured the defender, got it off him to the point the defender ended up throwing Martinelli to the floor. And Havertz goes through and puts a brilliant finish across goal. Probably the best finish we've seen from Havertz in an Arsenal shirt, I would say. Just way he's come onto it, hit it across goal. Keeper had no chance. Brilliant finish. It's really good to see him playing well. And then, again, Bukayo Saka for the 5th goal, doing brilliantly down the right-hand side. Playing, I think Odegaard played it into him. He's just done the defender with his body, opened up his body, gone to the byline, cut it back. Then there's Declan Rice to get his 5th goal of the season. And, that's now Declan Rice's highest scoring or just goal contributing season he's ever had. And there's still 12 games to go left. So, brilliant from him. And then in the second half, Ben White added one, which was probably the best strike of the lot, to be fair. Which is saying something coming from our right back on his weaker foot. But again, another great bit of play from Kai Havertz. Nice ball from Jorginho, who was brilliant again. Over the top to Kai Havertz, takes it down, chops in past the defender, lays it to Ben White, and he smacks it in the bottom corner, and it's game over. It was game over probably from 2-0, to be honest. But just another brilliant performance from Arsenal. Good to get the goal difference up. And I'm happy to see the boys, even at 2-3-0 up, they're still doing everything to make sure they don't concede. They're still pressing. They're keeping the ball. They're trying to get more. It was just brilliant. And we managed to get some of the boys who have been injured back on the pitch and getting minutes in, like Fabio Vieira, Gabriel Jesus and Thomas Partey. I'll be honest, Thomas Partey and Jesus cameos I thought were quite poor. Jesus really wound me up. There was a time Saliba put him in and he's one-on-one. All he's got to do is shoot. Just hit the ball and he tries to cut it back. And he's just... Gabriel Jesus is one of the best pure football players at our club, but he's also one of the thickest players going. He's so fucking stupid. His decision making is so bad. And Thomas Partey looked rusty, gave away a few really poor silly balls, but it's to be expected. He's been out for, well, since October, so a long time, and I'm not going to judge him too harshly on that. And let's just keep getting minutes in his legs and hope, you know, he can get back to his best as soon as possible, because a fully fit and at his best Thomas Partey gives us a massive boost in this title running. It really does. But yeah, speaking of the title running, that's 3 points done. We did set a record, actually, speaking on that. Being the first team in Premier League history to win 3 consecutive away games by 5 goals or more, which is some record. I mean, look, the 3 teams we played in that time, again, haven't been great, but we've also been absolutely brilliant, and we've made them worse than they possibly are. So, brilliant from Arsenal, kept the pressure up, and now it's our turn to bat first in this title race and put some pressure on instead of keep having to reply to the pressure. Saturday, 5:30 at home against Brentford, a team who have been struggling but are very dangerous on their day, and they are not ones to take lightly. And this is a massive game to get them 3 points and then sit back on Sunday and watch Liverpool and City just take lumps out of each other, and hopefully a result goes our way in that sense. What the best result for us is in that game, probably a draw, but if you had to pick a winner, I'm not too sure, you know, because as much as I think City are the better team, but if Liverpool keep just ticking off wins and getting and getting that momentum going, they could just end up taking it all the way, and that's mad, because I don't think Liverpool are a Premier League winning side, personally. I don't think Liverpool are all that great, but let's see how it goes. But anyway, on to our game. And it's another game where, as much as I said against Sheffield, I didn't think tactics would play a massive part in that game, and I don't think it did. I think it was a case of just being professional, going at them, and knowing that you're the better team and winning the game. This is a bit similar, but I do think there are some tactical things we have to be aware of, and I think it'll be interesting to see what Arteta goes with in this game as well. Brentford, look, they are struggling at the moment. They've been losing some games, conceding quite a lot of goals. But they do have Ivan Toney back, who has given them some hope, and he's been scoring some goals here and there. I thought both of their performances against City and Liverpool, well, all 3 of them performances were quite good as well. Quite unlucky to lose them games as heavily. Liverpool as heavily as they did. I think it was 4-1 in the end. 3-1 against City in the first game. Don't think that was particularly a 3-1 game. And then they just lost 1-0 at the Etihad. So they can be a really tough team. They can defend really well, and they're very good on the counter-attack. And I mean, the one advantage is that most of their defenders are injured. I think their first choice back 4 is pretty much out, which is why they've probably been conceding quite a few goals recently, which obviously bodes well for Arsenal when they're coming to the most informed team who's scoring goals for fun at the minute. But the thing is with Brentford is they do something different to pretty much every other team in the league, and that's by playing 2 strikers up front. When you look at, you know, pretty much every other team plays with one number 9 or sometimes a false 9, so majority of the time, centre-back pairings only have one player to mark, or maybe sometimes not even a player to mark when they come deep and piss off in midfield, etc. So, and if you remember last season, we drew 1-1 with Brentford at the Emirates, and Ivan Toney absolutely dominated against both of our centre-backs, but he particularly gave William Saliba, a really tough time. Dominated him in the air, ended up scoring a goal, and that was probably the first time in last season where Saliba really struggled. So it's one to be aware of. Our centre-backs going to have to be on it, which they have been, to be fair to them, and they've got to be ready for, you know, having a one-on-one battle each, and not just one person marking and the other person sweeping. And I think we just need to be aware of that as a team, and I think the best way to stop that is to keep pressing them like we have been with the other teams. Press them out of the game, absolutely suffocate them. Don't give them the chance to go long, basically. If you give them a chance to go long to Toney, he can win them flick-ons, bring the ball down, play. I imagine Vissa will play, who's probably the legs of the two, whereas Toney's more the physical presence. And, you know, they've got wing-backs who will be willing to bomb forward and, you know, join the attack and get crosses in. You look at Reguilon, since he's come on loan from Spurs, he's actually been one of their better players. I've been quite impressed with him. Gets forward well, puts in a really good ball on his left foot. Quite dangerous. So it's just about basically controlling their transition. And then I think the best way to do that is by suffocating them and try and just do what we have been doing. When we lose the ball, win it back within seconds and just maintain pressure and keep just pushing them back and back and back. If we do that, I think the goals will come. I don't know if this will be one where we score fours, 5, 6s, which I know we've been spoilt with and, you know, we're probably getting used to. But I don't think we should expect that from this game. I think, you know, Thomas Frank's a brilliant manager and he sets his teams up very, very well. And I know they've had a tough time lately, but coming to the Emirates against one of the best teams in the league, I think they will just be more switched on, more disciplined in their defensive work, and will try to hang in there. And they will know that, especially with the way Arsenal have been playing at the minute, if they can frustrate us for the first 20, or even like the first half even, say if they go into the first half 0-0, they know that might really frustrate the players. It might start to cause panic, where players start thinking, shit, the game's not over, like it has been in recent games. And they might start panicking, the crowd might start getting a bit twitchy and a bit nervous. So, yeah, like I said, a big game for the boys, and let's just go at it 100 miles per hour again. Try get it done early if we can, try blow them away, and then let's get the 3 points and watch what happens with City and Liverpool. But another big moment in this game is, obviously, David Raya is on loan at Arsenal from Brentford, so he won't be able to play this game, which means it will be Aaron Ramsdale in goal. And the big thing about this is that more than likely it'll be Aaron Ramsdale's last game in an Arsenal shirt, potentially. But potentially his last home game as well. Which, you know, as much as it's been a shame, and I have questioned it massively whether it's the right thing to do, I am starting to see signs with David Raya now, and I'm starting to understand why we bought him, and I'm starting to see the slight upgrades. But it will be probably quite an emotional day for Ramsdale, I think. And I think he'll be obviously determined to have as good game as possible. I'm sure he's still, in the back of his mind, believes he can, you know, somehow make it back in if he has a really solid, good performance. But unfortunately, I do think his time's up. And this will be, for him, I'm sure, because he will get so much support from the crowd. So it will be quite emotional for him, I'm sure. And he will want to keep a clean sheet. Hopefully he don't get pissed off and try to throw it in the back of his own net. But yeah, let's go into the predicted 11 and the scoreline. In goal, like I said, will be Aaron Ramsdale for it, potentially his last appearance for Arsenal. I only say that because you'd imagine if Raya don't get any more injuries, if you don't get any injuries, sorry, and there's no, or suspensions, and there's no cup games, as there is none left, chances are Ramsdale doesn't play. So yeah, Ramsdale in goal for maybe his last game. Right back will be Ben White, who I think has been absolutely superb in recent weeks. Like I said, scored a lovely goal last week, and he's just been brilliant recently. The way he presses, I think he's one of the best players at winning the ball back quickly. The way he's starting to invert has been brilliant. So yeah, Ben White, right back. Centre backs, look, it's just obvious. Saliba and Gabriel, the best centre back pairing in the league. Yeah, they'll play. They're gonna have a game on their hands. They're both gonna have to really be on it and be defensively aware and dominate their opponents. I'm sure Saliba remembers what Tony done to him last season. He won't want that again. And you know, also another thing with Brentford is since they've come up, we've not done the double over them yet. We've not beat them twice in the season, so it's time to do that, as we've already beaten them once this season. So yeah, they're going to have a game on their hands, but one I'm sure them two are both up to. Left back, I would stick with Kivior. I mean, Arteta at his press conference today didn't say anything about Zinchenko or Tomiyasu, but personally I'm sticking with Kivior. Had another good game against Sheffield United, ended up getting himself another assist. So yeah, Kivior deserves his spot, and yeah, I'd keep Kivior in at left back. Midfield, now this is where I think we'll see some changes. Jorginho's obviously started the last 2 games, and I don't think Jorginho's got it in him to start 2 games in a week or potentially 3 games in a week. And I think Arteta will be looking at him for the Porto game, and I think he'll really want Jorginho's experience in that Porto game to get us through. So I think Declan Rice will start as the holding midfield, and I think it will be Odegaard and Havertz, which I do get, but I think Havertz has been playing so brilliant as the false 9, I'd be tempted to leave him there. But I think he's going to want that bit of, you know, he knows that Havertz has the legs to get back, and he does a really good job defensively as well, better than the likes of probably like a Smith Rowe or someone does. So I think Havertz will start in the left 8, and obviously the skipper towards the right of him. Then the front three, I think it will be Saka. He did come off at half-time against Sheffield United. A few people was worried he wouldn't make it, but that was just illness, so I don't see why he wouldn't play. And then I think Jesus might get the nod up front to get some minutes into his legs ahead of the Porto game as well, because I think he'll want Jesus for the Porto game, because obviously his record in Champions League is sensational. So I think Jesus will start up front. And left wing, obviously Martinelli come off against Sheffield as well, and his injury looked a bit more of a problem as he limped off. But you know, it was just a cut, and Arteta did say in his press conference he's quite positive that they should both be okay. So if Martinelli's fit, I think Martinelli will play. If not, it will be Trossard, I'd imagine. But for now, I'm going to say Martinelli. And score, I think this could be a tougher game than we think. I think Brentford could score, especially with two strikers. I'm going to go 3-1. 3-1 Arsenal. I'd love another clean sheet, and hopefully it is a 3-4 niller, but I think this could be quite a tough game. But yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, what you guys think. What would you change the team, score lines, etc. And yeah, let's just hope that come 7-8 o'clock on Saturday we're top of the league, and then let's see what happens in the big game on Sunday. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.